This Miss Stephanie Renee. And Stephanie's gonna run the show because that's what she always does. I be listening to the radio all the time. She be running the show anyway. Thank you, Steph.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gene. And it is with great pleasure that I take a moment now to welcome up two of the stars of this wonderful film that we've just experienced together. Please, Dorian Missick and Omari Hardwick join me on stage. I was like, I think that was a request for 20 grand to make its way in at some point. Can we collectively give it up one more time for this film? I gotta say that besides the fact that BlackStar is family, regardless, seeing a film like this with an audience like this was wonderful.
Yes.
You all were part of the experience, seriously.
We absolutely never knew that we signed up for a comedy. Was it a comedy?
Well, I want to start with the obvious, which is the spoken word piece. For those folks who consider ourselves to be kind of like the second wave, I guess, of the spoken word scene here in Philadelphia, who gather at places like October Gallery and Buttermilk and all these wonderful venues, start writing poetry.
Well, the question was, what made me start writing? A girl, of course. You know, I was 14 years old, and Dorian and I have a very similar walk. I grew up in Atlanta, and then my pops got transferred to New York, so I did a lot of time in Brooklyn. And Dorian, of course, is the opposite, and then came to Atlanta. So, you know, I let him obviously answer for himself. But he and I have always considered ourselves artists before actors. Obviously, he's heavily involved in music, and people know him as a DJ. And me as a poet now, people are starting to know me more. But I probably was 14 years old and was simply writing about a relationship going whatever. And then I started to write about a little bit more about politics and things that I was learning about the state of Georgia and everything from Sherman burning it down and why he burned it down to the power structure of black folks in town, and you know, and the fact that there weren't the same power structure of black folks in other cities. And so, yeah, you know, my pen has just always been very attached to my hand, so it's very much a part of it. Okay.
And Dorian,
It's extremely therapeutic.
Just one thing I wanted to add to that is in terms of, because I get that question a lot about what kind of roles we choose and how we feel that is representative of black men, or just black people in general on screen. And I think it is incumbent upon us as the artists that once you accept a character, accept a role, it is incumbent upon us to be honest about what that character, that person's background, that person's history, because yeah, you can't judge it, you know, and I think oftentimes what will happen is when you get it made, you know, you end up on a Law and Order or something, they want you to play a drug dealer, this guy, Well, I know a lot of drug dealers, I'm gonna be honest with you, a decent amount. I know a lot of professors, I know a lot of black men from all walks of life. So for me to say that I can portray somebody very honestly, and still there's a reality to that you give them character, you give those characters levels, and you don't make them caricatures. And I think a lot of times actors, and particularly black actors, we get caught up, we'll read a script and say, oh no, he cheats, he's a adulterer, he's abusive, I don't want to play that, that's no good, that's bad for black folks. But if you portray that character honestly, and if you keep it all the way real, you know somebody like that, or somebody with those tendencies, or you know that you can identify with just something really small in that character you can identify with. And then you build on that and you make an honest character, and then suddenly people aren't so upset with you. Suddenly people feel a little, they understand, however they do this, they can understand part of Elimu's struggle. You know, because if you portray honestly and give them all the levels and the angles, it's all of a sudden it's a fully realized human being and not just a caricature. And a lot of times in projects that we don't have any creative control over, they give you a caricature. And then you have to do all the extra homework of trying your best to make that person a fully realized human being. So that way, I feel like that is the best way to represent black folks. I don't think it's just about presenting the martyrs or presenting just the best part about us. I love that. We need to do that. But we also need to be honest.